And we are live. Hey, good evening, everyone. Dave Wilson of the Ring of Hire Show. Hey, it's been a long time since I've done a show, but tonight I'm excited to be back. And I have a great candidate here, open to work, Amanda Ditchik. How you doing, Amanda?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. And then we have a special guest. Joel's going to help me with this interview here. He's going to ask some questions. How's it going, Joel?
Great, man. Great to be on here. Hope you're hearing me just fine.
All right. Well, we're going to be right back after this. I still love that. That feels. It does. It feels like you're in charge. It feels like you're in power. You want to just go after somebody. Jesus, So hey, tonight, everybody.
Game of Thrones too, so she can start relating to that a little bit.
What's that? I didn't hear you there.
I said I just got Amanda watching Game of Thrones. So I think she can relate a little bit to it now.
Hey, listen. The reason I started the show, The Ring of Hire, is I love having candidates on, people looking for work. Everybody's on LinkedIn looking for work, open to work. And people put the green banner on there. And when I saw Amanda's reached out and talked to her, come on the show. And Amanda, I'm going to take this time, and I know you're in Cranford, New Jersey. I don't know where the hell that is, but what is that? What is that next to in New Jersey? Close, what area?
It's about 45 minutes outside of New York City. Maybe 45 minutes away from the beach. Kane University.
No, that I'm not. I'm to look on the map. I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, it's near there.
Near there. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Hey, you know what? We're going to start out tonight, and I'm just going to let you introduce yourself, Amanda. Tell us about yourself and your career and what you're looking for, and then we have a lot of great questions for you.
Okay, sure. Well, I recently became a second career teacher. I was teaching kindergarten in the past year. Prior to that, prior to having kids, I got involved in adult education. So I really enjoyed training other adults, and I organized and created classes at a city hospital. So I used to do things related to new employee orientation or even creating classes with other leaders. And then eventually I became a health coach when my kids were young. So I got involved in a lot of online marketing and ended up combining all of that with a little bit of education.
Right.
So fast forward, after I became separated and I had been living on Long Island and I moved back to New Jersey, I decided as a single mom to go back to school and begin my process for becoming a licensed teacher.
That is awesome. Love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of work, though, I bet.
It's been some hard work. And right now I'm a little bit at a crossroads because my kids are a little bit older and there's a lot I love about teaching young kids, but I'm also I'm missing some aspects of working in adult education corporate training. So
it's got to be rewarding though, isn't it? I mean, that's
yes. Do you mean the teaching or the?
Yeah, I mean, for me, teaching. I just enjoy helping people, and I bet that's part of what you like about that part of the job.
Yes, that's really what I loved, and to just hear from a young student saying, I love you, Misty, or, cute things like that. You're the best teacher. They probably said that to every teacher.
All right.
When I hear from a parent saying that, I've made a difference in their child's life, that really means a lot to me, despite all of the hard work and toil.
Yeah, I do. I can imagine, because the work, always hear about the way teachers work, and the hours you put in from the time that you start to the end of the day, and then still got to work when you get home. And I hear it all the time. Joel, I hear those birds out there. I hear your birds.
Yeah, they're chirping like no tomorrow now all of a sudden, so it's weird.
Is it? All right. If anybody does have any questions, please feel free to ask. But there is some issues sometimes with LinkedIn, with StreamYard here, and then you don't see any of the comments till the end of the show, so I'll come back and answer them. Well, we do have one. Let's see. We got one here. Nora Hado, you are the best teacher. Nora? Do you know Nora?
Oh, yes, I do. She's my aunt.
Oh, okay. That's really
She's
good.
known me all the time.
I wanted to ask you a couple questions about the jobs that you had. When you say you were project management, P&R marketing coordinator, what type of work did that involve?
When I was a PR and marketing coordinator, I worked for a chiropractic clinic. So it was a very interesting job. It was related to a university located in upstate New York, but I worked over on Long Island. And they sent over interns who were ready to graduate, chiropractic interns, who were mentored by seasoned chiropractors. So my role was to conduct PR and marketing for the clinic or the center, and also serve as a bit of a mentor towards the young interns. So we would go to public health fairs together, and I would guide them a little bit. I would also help conduct public health workshops and work with the students doing that. I also conducted a class on PR and marketing for the interns to teach them how to market themselves. So I really enjoyed creating that from scratch and teaching them how to do that. So that really felt nice, helping the young.
So you're still carrying over your skills to being like with the teaching. You're still, I always talk about transferable skills. Joel even has too. Joel, I know you got a question down there. You're down there sitting. You got your mute microphone. You got a question?
I'm just trying to mute out the birds for you. That's all.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
No, I do have a good question. To go on a professional level, as you know, Amanda and I know each other very well. But my question is, what made you decide to leave that kind of job when you were having such a good time with it?
With the Levittown Health Center, they were starting to downsize and everything. So I think they eventually got rid of either the whole or part of the marketing department. That was their decision. They went back to make everything more centralized. Then at that point, I decided to focus on, I had a bit of a business going a little bit. And before I knew it, it was pandemic and a big life change, which is my separation. So. Yeah,
I think all of us. I looked on here. Now you're looking for work in the New York City Metropolitan Area.
Yes.
I'm not familiar too much with New York. I know it's not far from you here, but what area does that surround? Like, what are you looking for? Is that just one solid area, the metropolitan area?
I'm open to New York City, but I'm also near. I'm in Union County.
Right.
So I am looking for local positions as well. I even prefer local if possible, because I still like to be kind of somewhat nearby my children. They're 15 and 12, but still.
Yeah, still being around the area. And you're looking for, you have all three models: on-site, hybrid, and remote, right? I mean, you're open to all the different things there.
Yes.
And you're looking for, now, I saw about me, I like all this: the training specialist, professional development, training manager, training coordinator, training and development manager roles. That there, just from your background, you can see when you talk about just teaching people. I mean, you've got a lot of stuff in there that you've done training. What is your ideal job, like, you're looking for now? Like, if you had to say, you know what, Dave, this is what I'm really looking for. This is your stage. What are you looking for?
I would really like a job where well, just as a side note, currently I do have a part-time evening job,
Right.
evening weekend job, teaching children how to
Right.
write. So that still allows me to do that aspect of it.
Right.
So an ideal job would be perhaps a little bit hybrid, but it would involve the training of adults,
Right.
collaborating with department leaders, and the ability to be a little creative, involve the writing
Right.
skills I have. I love the public relations and marketing. It would be focused on organizational development.
Right.
So really, it looks like I've done some marketing, I've done some training.
Right.
When you're working with an organization and trying to help them with an agenda through training and professional development, that is marketing. You need to market the company
Right.
to the employees. You need to market the training programs. You need all that buy-in. So
That's a lot.
I think if you were to say the absolute most amazing job to me would be to combine my health coaching with teaching.
Right.
And
They can see the smile. When you smiled when you said that.
yeah,
So
you
like,
see it like
when somebody knows what they want, I can tell.
yeah.
I can tell.
With corporate wellness. I actually did get years ago, I got a certificate in workplace wellness through Kelly
Right.
Wellness Consulting. So I never really fully utilized that in that capacity, but that would be a really amazing role to me to
go
help
into.
employees improve their overall health and wellness.
Does teaching, having a teaching background too, does that help you a lot when you're looking for a position like that now? Because let me back that up. Do you get asked why you're leaving the teaching industry and then going into a different part of jobs, or you know what I mean? You're going from teaching, you're coming out, or are you looking for something similar in teaching or anything like that?
I haven't really been asked because I've been in a contemplation mode as to whether
Right.
to continue to focus on the young set entirely,
Right.
or focusing on working with adults. So I don't think anyone's really had the chance to ask me. If someone were to ask me, it would be that a
Right.
part of me really misses my roles where I was involved in collaborating with other adults and teaching a little bit of an older crowd as well. So
What's easier, adults or children? Joel will answer that one.
for
I know that answer.
yeah, it's definitely adults because they appreciate what you're teaching them a little bit more.
Right.
It's very hard to say though. I mean, children can be a lot of fun, but it's not, I wouldn't describe it as easy because you're dealing with a lot of different dynamics. They don't have the capacity to really control themselves.
I can't even imagine that. I look what my son goes through with my wife, and I look there and I say, wow, not one child, you got 30, you got 10 in a class, 20, and it's like, wow, that's a lot of children. And the skill set that you have there, the stress level must be, I don't know. That's just me. I think it would be a lot of stress.
Yeah. And if I were to continue in teaching elementary,
Right.
I definitely work for a more suburban district, but something I would need to learn is time management, because something I've been doing is, in a sense, working 24/7. It never ends. I do want to spend time with my basically teenage children, but I'm always working, always thinking of the next lesson, always grading. So
what do you feel when you look? That was my next question, actually. With work-life. We talk about work-life balance and culture and everything like that. What are you looking for? What kind of company are you looking for like a work-life balance and even the culture? What are you looking for?
I'd be looking for a culture that really has a strong mission and really respects those with families, moms and dads even, and really has a good sense of work-life balance. Like, for example, if you as long as they trust that if you need to work from home because someone's really sick or something's going on, they trust you. One of my, probably my favorite job is when I work for a mom's organization, part-time, a nonprofit. And I had such an amazing boss, Kate. I should have invited her on here. Kate was her name. And she just trusted me completely to handle all the social media marketing. I love having that type of autonomy.
That's awesome.
Really trust this employees.
If you had, let me say, if I had right in this room here a lot of your friends and family and even coworkers, what would they say about you? What would they say? If I said, tell me about Amanda, anything, I don't care. Talk to me about Amanda.
Sure. I think they would say that I try really hard and I'm a caring friend, a good listener. They would say that I like to be creative.
Right.
They would say I probably try to do too much. I do a lot. I do too much.
Right.
And just that I like to do things outdoors. They would say I'm very into health and fitness. So
yeah, I think I need help in that area. And how do you keep up with your training with that? How do you, I mean, you're balancing I know I can tell that you like the fitness, and that's got to be a lot of work too, to keep up with things.
It's just something, it's something that's very important to me.
Right.
So I really try to fit in as much as I could. Sometimes when I'm teaching, I try to get up super early. That doesn't always work. So that way I can, say I get a workout in before the day takes over and it's my job and my kids. But I just see it as a bit of a non-negotiable.
Right. No, I get that. Joel, I know you have another question.
Oh, Joel, I think Joel's trying to say something.
Yeah, I think, Joel, I know you have another question down there.
Yeah, I'm really surprised you didn't ask me about that one. If your friends could describe Amanda and then you didn't ask me, like what?
That's what's nice. I always like asking that question in an interview because it I don't know, breaks the monotony. Interviews, we've all gone to them, and I don't care how long, you've been with a job, say 5-10 years, and when you're going back out and interviewing again, it's a lot. It's some of these questions that you could get asked, and if you're not prepared for, wow, I don't get it. There's one of my favorite, and Joel, you know this one. It was asking if you could be what type of animal in a zoo. How do you describe yourself? What animal would you be? And they said some people asked that. So I want to ask Joel that first. Joel, what would you be?
Well, that's a really good question, Dave. If I was to be any animal in a zoo, there's different options you could be at. Do you want to be the one that gets the center of the attention? Do you want to be the one that doesn't really get bothered or gets poked by a lot of people? You want to be the one that gets kind of oogled at, like, ooh. If I was to choose one, not for interview purposes, but just for a tabletop question, I'd definitely choose the sloth. Because the sloth is nice. But people come to pay attention to it. Everybody likes to smile and everything from it. It's hey, and it still gets fed and everything on a regular basis. Now, if I was out in the wild, it would definitely not be the sloth. That's for sure.
Right, like that. I never thought of somebody would say the sloth of all animals. They were saying in the book. Now, this is in this book here. Now, this is a new one, Joel. I got. Oh no, I got it. Here it is. How to answer interview questions, man. She's going to be coming on the show too. It's 101 tough questions, and it says as long as you don't say spiders and snakes, then that's all right. So, I don't get the whole thing, but Amanda, as long as you don't say you want to be a spider or a snake. Nora says, I think Amanda has a beautiful personality and is highly educated, and she would be quite an asset to any company. So thank you, Nora, for that comment. That is very nice of you to say. Okay. So I didn't even ask you, Amanda, what animal would you like to be?
Me? At a zoo?
It'd be a lion. It'd be a lion, Joel.
It would be, for some reason, I'm thinking a zebra.
A zebra? I'm going to look on that page to see if it says anything in there to be a zebra. But they're fast. They're colorful. Yeah, I guess. All right. I'll have to look up on that one to see what kind of traits of a zebra has. But
Yeah.
I always love those kind of questions are tough. Um, when what do you feel your strongest skill
Hold on.
set is?
Why is zebra?
Oh, what's that, Joel?
It
Why
just
zebra?
it popped into my mind, but I think they're cool with their stripes, and also, they kind of have freedom and everything.
Okay.
They can kind of run around, have freedom without anybody trying to jump on top of them and ride them.
Yeah, the size of those are. My God. But no, I mean, what do you feel your strongest asset is to a company, Amanda? Like, what do you, if you were to say just in a couple words, what's your strongest skill set that you want somebody to know?
I guess I could say I'm really innovative. I'm always looking for new solutions.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a problem solver. Mhm.
Yeah, that's something I would like to be. You get enough of it at work as it is. And what do you feel if you were to take your teaching, what do you say is some of the most accomplishments that you've had
As far as
in the teaching? You must have a lot of them, I'm sure.
sure. You mean overall?
Yeah, overall. Yep. Yeah.
Um,
Overall answer.
when I worked for Momentum, for example, the
Right.
mom's organization, it 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 was depending on donors. There was an issue with one of the donors, so it started as a group of moms who would host
Right.
discussion groups. So they had discussion guides. So I took that and I turned that into an online course that we
Nice.
could pilot and sell into a 2-week online
Right.
course. It's supposed to be like an hour long discussion.
That is awesome.
And we had a whole message board and everything that I shared with my other health coach friend. And
Right.
so I just expanded that, included videos, journal prompts, and
You
everything.
did that for like 12 years though, right? Wasn't that your health and wellness?
That was around 2016.
Okay. I remember
So,
seeing something on LinkedIn. I thought it said you did. So you invested in that type of the business for almost 12 years, right?
yeah. And that was a part-time job I was hired at.
Oh,
That
okay.
I started to volunteer for. Um, I I can really look at a course like
Right.
curriculum, and I did that with the boring hospital mandatory training, and I
Right.
turned that into something more interesting and interactive. So I really, not only did I consider that an accomplishment, I really enjoy doing that.
Right. That's
Mhm.
awesome. All right, Joel. I know you got a question down there. There he comes. He's listening.
Oh yeah, I am. I got all this. So one of another good question I like to ask during my interviews that I do, and everything is I'm in the process of interviewing a lot of other people, and Dave obviously I interviewed a ton of people on here, and I've assisted with them. What stands you out? Why would we hire you? What would you bring to our company, or if you're any other company?
I would say that what makes me stand out is that I'm really willing to put the effort in to any job. I really care
Right.
and go above and beyond what's expected of me. Yeah. And as I was saying before, if there's a problem, I'll immediately look for solutions. I'll look
Right.
for even without a quote unquote problem, I'll look for areas of improvement. That
Just to get it going. That's awesome.
Mhm.
If I want to say this, we talked about culture, ideal jobs. Again, I just want to do one more. I'm going to go backwards once more and say you're looking for work. You're in Cranford, New Jersey. You're
Mhm.
looking for work in the New York Metropolitan Area over in New York City. And again, if you had to say, what kind of job titles have you been looking for? Like when something stands out. So if I see, or somebody here would see something, what type of? I see a lot in like how you say professional development, training manager, but what type of job title?
I've been looking for training coordinator positions,
Okay.
training manager, director of training, training director, as well as teacher, which could be for children and adults.
And what kind of field is that all you're looking for? Like you're in teaching, and like what is there a type of industry that you're looking for, or you're open to just new something new?
I'm fairly open. I can say that when this is really weird, but
Right.
whenever I'm at a hospital, it could be for an emergency. Sometimes I miss working with
Right.
care. I like the variety of people. I loved when I was first married and moving, I temped for a little bit. I absolutely loved working for
Right.
a hotel. It was similar. I worked for a couple of hotels, which when I was hired by the city hospital, my boss, the director, loved that I had that experience because it was
You had that.
similar, like helping everybody to do their best performance. But really overall, I'd say I am open because it's about, as long as I know the company is good.
Right.
And I love making a difference with
It is
in that company.
The culture. We always talk about it, but that is a big thing anymore when people are looking for work. We say that, like, culture, like, what is the culture? Years ago, you never heard of that. Nobody would even bring that up. I mean, Joel, we've talked about it numerous times. Like, even from the workplace balance, I don't think that came out until like COVID. Other than that, we never. I think it's because everybody stayed home and you actually realize, like, wow, this is kind of neat, to where you had family time, you had a lot of different things. A lot of people working remote. Now going back to the office, people want to have that. They want to have that freedom. This has got to be Rob. I wonder if that's Rob from on LinkedIn. Rob, how you doing? Says hello to all.
Yep.
That might be Rob.
That's him.
Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Is that what it is? All right. What kind of? I always like to ask Mandy, do you have any hobbies? You have to have hobbies, being in, I'm sure, the fitness.
Yeah, I really love running. I've been trying to get into more creative things with like crocheting.
My mom did that. She did a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I like scrapbooking sometimes. I haven't done that in a while.
Now, what's that? Is that taking just pictures and cutting them? Is that what that is?
Yeah, you can make, you basically get really creative with pictures that you've taken, printed pictures.
Right.
And you can add memories and everything, add little ribbons, designs.
Isn't there an app for
that? Yeah. And I really love nature photography. That's another hobby of mine. Right now it's just with an iPhone, but I love to take, I can look at nature and just find different ways to portray it. So.
Just the pictures and everything. That's got to be something. All right. So I want to talk to you one more about your job in health and wellness. What did you specialize in that? Oh, go ahead, Joel. What's that?
All right. Yeah. Sorry. You got your stuff written down. I'm on the fly.
No, you're on the fly. Go ahead.
Yeah. That's Toastmasters right there for you. Toastmasters. I'm telling you.
That's it. Go ahead.
So one of the things I want to bring up is, say that you're having an ethical dilemma. Your company policy says you have to do a certain thing a certain way. However, your boss is coming to you and telling you to do another way to make the process go quicker. What do you do in that kind of situation, or how do you handle that situation?
It really depends on what it is. If I think it's going to hurt someone, then I would probably consult with someone who has an area of expertise in that. But overall, that's why the way a company is important to me, because I did have a job offer eons ago and I hated the interview process because they had me conduct PR on a very unfortunate situation that I experienced. So that's what would be important to me. But, like I said, if I think there might be an editorial mistake because I'm rushing, all right, if it relates to the bigger picture of overall goodness, then all right, if there's going to be a problem, then I'll be talking to some people,
So I don't know how I would answer that, because I have so many different scenarios in an interview. I'd be like, oh my God, which one do I choose? Or which one do I add from a couple companies ago? I always say,
that That's what makes it a good question.
It is, because it's like you got to start thinking, and that's what I tell people when they interview. Really, really study your questions, and because some of the questions that they ask, let's face it. I mean, man, I thank you for coming on like this. I mean, to be asked questions like this live on LinkedIn, you're like, okay, but it shows who you are. That's what I like about doing videos. You know, when we talk like this, listen, it's just to get to know you, and you know, somebody out there afterwards, maybe one person. I tell everybody that's all it takes is one person to see the show, to tag people, to share this show, and help people get back to work. Rob says a great attitude and willingness to help out in any way you can. Rob, I agree with that 1000%. And I'm sure everybody here does also. But I want to talk about your 2 jobs again, Amanda. Is when you say the health and wellness, I wanted to go back into that a little bit more of what you did for all those years working, and that was all part-time or that was full-time?
That was mainly part-time. It's because my children were young. So okay. I started as someone who wanted to work with clients, and I worked with a few clients in developing healthier lifestyles. And what ended up happening is I ended up with a few part-time jobs related to helping others with health and wellness. For example, I had a contract job with LI Fit Moms, and I taught picky eaters classes for young children. So I never knew what to expect. One of the classes for example, I was talking to parents. And so I expected, I'm just talking to parents. I put a whole display of food. And second class, daycare show up, and I was sitting there teaching 4-year-olds. So I had to do a quick, and that's something about me too. I'm very flexible. I can just go with the flow. And
well, you have to do that, because I've been listening to what you're saying, and it's the same thing. Your whole career has been kids and adults. You know what I mean? Because the kids come in, just like you just said that right off the bat, and here it comes the kids again. So you can tell that that's a very important part of you. You know, that it's got to be. I mean, you say it with passion when you talk about it. One more question for me, and then Joel, I'm sure you're going to have one. I want you to take this time here again and think about it. But I want to say, you know, what type of job you're looking for, what type of shifts, where you're looking for, what area. And just give you this time to just one more time, put yourself out there and what you're looking for.
Okay. Well, I have a strong background in all kinds of education and marketing. I have a lot of training in how to design classes and being engaging. My experience in elementary education has only solidified my.
You said that 2nd grade? Was it 2nd grade or 4th?
I started with 2nd grade in the beginning of the year, and then someone retired early, and I needed to switch to kindergarten.
Oh, wow.
And I student taught 1st grade. I was a substitute teacher. So I'm looking for a role where that involves education and coaching. Possibly a role such as training coordinator for a company in organizational development. And I'm looking within the northern central Jersey area, New York Metropolitan Area. I'm in Union County. So the closer, the better. I'm not opposed to working in the city.
Right. That's got to be crazy going to a city. I don't know if I could do that. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know, Joel, I know you got your Tesla and you could just push go, but I don't know, boy, that's got to be a different type lifestyle working in the city. I mean,
yeah, I've done it before, and it's definitely challenging. So I like local is even better, but I love the idea of hybrid remote work. Whereas it's somewhat flexible, so I can do a variety of things. And yeah, so
no, that's a good answer. Joel, you have one more here? I know you got one, because I got one after this, and then we're going to close it out. I can't believe we're going 35 minutes already.
I know. Great. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Another question. I know you said a little bit on there about being an entrepreneur and everything, correct?
About what?
Being an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Yeah. So which one do you think is easier, being an entrepreneur or working just a normal 9 to 5? Which one in your mind is harder?
I think it's harder to be an entrepreneur because you need to have such a strong motivation to work in it all the time, whereas you're setting your own goals. So I think it's very hard because you're being a salesperson and you're trying to create something. So I would just say overall that's a little bit harder. It's definitely fun though. It's definitely fun to come up with your own ideas of
a lot of hours and learning. I think you learn when Joel said that, my thought process on that was how much when I learned when I had the business of, wow, you make one mistake, you have nobody to kick but yourself. There's nobody to kick their ass or blame it on somebody. It all comes back to being an entrepreneur. It's you made that decision. But you know what, having that background it really helps in today's world, in today's job market, because I don't think that ever goes away from you being an entrepreneur. I think that's just part of you, that like you do, you have such a background with working with adults and children. That's not going anywhere. I think the rest of your career you're going to be involved with that. And that has just got to be hard, My last question for you is, we didn't talk about like your education. What have you done in the background? What have you done? Or where have you gone to school, or what have you did?
Well, when I worked at Fordham Law School in their career plan when I was very young. And so I used that to go to graduate school for free. I remember in the beginning, I was looking to things like counseling or social work, but then I didn't want to spend 4 years part-time working at for
a long time.
Yeah. So I learned about adult education because it really opened up a variety of things, from everything from running small groups to working on the organizational development level. So once I got my master's in that opened me up to the assistant director of training position at Queens Hospital. And there was so much that was great about that, but then I had my child and decided to stay home with him, stay local.
Right.
And then years later, I was always busy, even when I was staying home.
Right.
Getting the different certifications, the health coaching, the workplace wellness, that my mother makes fun of me. She's like, you're always trying to get a certificate. And then luckily Caldwell University here in New Jersey, they offered a program that was an alternate route, because alternate route is really hard. They offered a post-bac program where with 15 credits, you could work towards your certification and
you get that.
Student teaching.
You got to have something to back it up. You got to have something. I mean, especially for the health and wellness. It's not just like saying, "Hey, I can do this." I mean, they're looking for you for advice, and you got to know what you're talking about. I mean, everybody wants to be like a coach, but if you got to have some kind of background in it, or else you're not going to be. Everybody can tell right through it. That's what I think. We got Mike down here. There's my brother. My brother's on. Hey, Mike, how you doing? It's my brother. He's over at Florida. Joel, I think you've met Mike on there before.
No, not yet.
No, I thought you met Mike. He's over in Florida. So, but no, I want to thank you tonight, Amanda, for coming on the show. I think it's to come on here and just get asked questions, and whether you say the right thing or wrong. I don't think you did tonight. I hope that I can help you try to find something too. We'll work on this afterwards to show you what I do to tell people. Listen, video shows a lot. It shows the person, not just the resume, because like a lot of recruiters, you get those resumes. I don't know. It's just, I'd rather see the person. To me, like the video resumes, I was really into that during COVID, and I still am, because I think it puts a lot out there for you. It just shows what type of person you are when you're live on a video like this. So I want to thank you, Joel, also, and Amanda, for coming on, and we'll be back again. And I think that's it. I said enough, didn't I, Joel?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been great, Dave. I really appreciate it, man.
No, and Amanda, thank you so much, and I appreciate you coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to talk right after this.